All right, let's talk about how to fix wrinkles in your paint. First of all, hopefully you don't have this happen, but it does. If you've been painting long enough, you're going to have some point a wrinkle situation. And I'll tell you right now, it's not fun. So first of all, we're going to talk about why it happens so that you can maybe not have it happen. The reason it happened to me is it was in a hurry and I was layering the base on too quickly, and because I had somewhere I had to go, then all of a sudden I got a phone call that I didn't need to go do it. So that was good. I was in too much of a hurry, and this was what happens when you do that. So to avoid it to happen, number one, avoid using acetone as your reducer. I did not use acetone. I learned my lesson on that many years ago. Avoid using acetone as reducer. Use urethane reducer if you're shooting single stage or urethane, or if you're shooting base coat. Urethane reducer, very key. Use proper reducer for the paint you're doing. So this just happens to be base coat, and what I did is I was shooting, I shot a single stage urethane on here, and I laid out some stripes, and then I decided to use base coat and over the single stage urethane in the red, because it'll dry a little faster and it actually works better. It doesn't bleed underneath the tape. So before I was using single stage urethane for this color, and I was getting a lot of tape bleed, so I just decided, since I had some, I'm going to go ahead and did it that way because it comes out better. So anyway, I had wrinkles all along this edge here. I've had them along here, and I've been sanding them out. Okay, got them right here. Okay, so what I'll do is I guess I'll use this area right here because it's not done. This is still wrinkled. Okay, look at that. Wrinkled in the paint. And I'll use this as an example. But how it happens is I layered the paint too quickly. When you're going over a single stage urethane or an enamel, years ago we did this when we had only two paints. There was lacquer and there was enamel. If you put lacquer over enamel, people say you couldn't do it. Yes, you could. We did it all the time. But what would happen is if you layered it too quick, if you put on too wet of a coat, then what it would do is it would react while it was drying. It would react with the undercoat. So the whole game of what you're trying to do is you're trying to build a barrier. So when you put on your next color, so underneath was white, obviously, and what I was trying to do is put this red over it, is to do it and let it completely dry, and then do another coat and let it completely dry, and do another coat and let it completely dry, and not put too wet of a coat on. Because if you put too wet of a coat on, it gives it time while it's on there to react with the undercoats. Eventually, when you put enough coats on slowly, and you put on a light layer and you wait a little while, and you put another light layer on, wait a little while, and you put another light layer on, you build a barrier of the new paint over the old. So then when you finally, the last coat, maybe you can put it on a little heavier. I'm just saying, still don't want to put it on too heavy when you're going over like a single stage urethane or some kind of a catalyzed urethane, catalyzed paint, acrylic enamel, whatever, with a base coat. This also can happen when you're using single stage urethane, or if you're using a catalyzed urethane base over another catalyzed product. I've had that happen before too, and it's done very similar, the same way. So to avoid it, lighter coats, more time. That's the key thing. So you're going to see comments down there. They're going to tell you, hey, you got to strip the whole thing all the way off. You got to take everything off. You know what? I've been doing this, I might as well say 100 years, okay? I've been doing this a long time. I fixed a ton of wrinkles. I've done, if you're not making mistakes, you're probably not doing enough work. That's all I got to say. Everybody makes mistakes, and I put on the layers too quickly, and this is what happened. So anyway, fine sandpaper. You want to use extremely fine, wet sandpaper. Sand out the wrinkles. Sand them out. Like right now, I'm using 500. It's a little too coarse. But what I'm doing is I'm just taking it off. And believe me, when it used to happen, when I used to do this with the old lacquer paints, that stuff was really extremely hard to sand compared to these base coats. So when this happened, it was like the boss would just get so pissed off because he knew that it was going to waste 2 hours of our time because we got in a hurry, pushed the base too hard, and put too much on it at once, didn't wait between coats, and now you got to pay the price for it. So sand it all out. I'll go ahead and do that off camera. I'll bring you right back in a minute. All right, so after you're done sanding it all out, I go with the 500 is what I did. I just happen to have 500. You can use 600, whatever. I just happen to have some, so I was using that wet sandpaper. If you try and do it with dry, yeah, it works, I guess, if your paint's dry enough. But usually it doesn't. Usually it's kind of soft underneath, so you really need the wet paper to make it work. So then I went with 1,000. You could do as coarse as maybe 800. And that's about as I've done 600 before, and it works on old lacquer. I don't know about on these base coats. I'm not sure. It might not work. You could try it. If you're having issues again, then you need to go finer. So the finer the sandpaper, the better, because what you're trying to do is not let this be quite so open. You're trying to polish that undercoat a little bit, but give it just enough for the paint to bite onto. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just shoot super dry paint over this. Layer it really slowly. If you put it on too heavy, it's going to wrinkle again. Then you just got to start over again, sand it back out, and dryer. Okay? So let's put a little bit on there and see how it looks. All right, here we go. So what I do is I'm barely pulling the trigger. If you can kind of see just that little bit coming out. Super dry, nothing. Then I'm going to air. I'm just blowing air right now. I'm going to do air for a while. I'm going to make sure that dries. So the key is, if you have paint in your gun, you want to have the paint with a really fast reducer. You do not want slow reducer in it. You want it to flash off, because what you're trying to do is you do this a bunch of times, and you just let this dry. And you might have to stop right now. I might have to stop and come back in 10 minutes. I'm going to put one more layer, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put one more layer really dry like that, and then I'm just going to let this sit. So this is where and then I'm going to dry that out, because I really don't want that paint to react with the undercoat again. Okay, so this right here was another wrinkle. Okay, it was wrinkled all the way along here, and little by little I've just been dry coating that. I'm just going to jump around a little bit and show you this one. And then this one here, you can see this one's a little bit further. I've got a little bit more layers on it, and I'm out of material. But I'm going to go ahead and get some more material. I reduce it the same as I normally do. You could even reduce it a little bit extra, and make sure that you blow it dry and get all the reducer out of it so it doesn't have a chance to react. The reason that the acetone does that, if you put acetone in your as a reducer, is because acetone, if you just take acetone on a rag and you set it on your paint, come back the next day, it'll probably be bare metal. That's how much acetone will react. And then they have other things in reducer besides acetone that help it not do that reaction. So that's why they have urethane reducer and not acetone for everything. So make sure you use urethane reducer. That's the key thing. I have people that tell me, oh no, it's the same. It's acetone's in the reducer. It's like, dude, there's other stuff in there that neutralizes it from happening. There's other stuff in there that stops it from reacting with the undercoats. That's why they have reducer and not acetone. All right. So anyway, light coats, layer it, just keep doing it, and you bring it back, and eventually, look at this. It looks pretty good. No wrinkles in there. It was bad. It was worse than over here, all along there. And yeah, I see there's pits in here and everything. I'm not worried about it. This is not a car, you know. This is a bucket for something, but you can use the same thing on a car and it'll work the same. Let's finish up some more of this. I'm going to let this dry. Sometimes again, the wrinkles will come back and you got to sand it back out again. That means you went too heavy. Just let it set. It's all about patience. The other thing people do is they'll try and put less reducer in the paint. No, that doesn't work either. You got to put more reducer in it, if anything. So if you're having it start to react again, you need to go more reducer. Put on the layers so that the game is, when you put more reducer in it, what does it do? Does it dry slower or faster? More reducer will make it dry faster. So you're trying to get it to dry as fast as possible to get it to be a barrier. Once it's a barrier, you just keep putting it on. Yeah, I don't have a respirator on because I'm talking on the phone and I'm out in the wide open weather. So there's no paint smell right here because it's all blowing away in the wind. Light coats, that might have been a little too heavy. I might have jacked it up for myself. Once you do that once, you'll have to take it, sand it all off again and start over. It's always fun. So anyway, dry it out. Light layers of paint. Really light, 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 light. The lighter the better. And just do lots of them and let it dry a long time between layers. That's the key. Yeah, it might be reacting right there, is it? Probably have to sand that out, start over. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain. But finally, when you get to the point where it's not wrinkling and it's coated like this area right here is pretty much done. I can go over that a little tiny bit wetter, but still don't go too wet. If you go too wet going over it, it'll do it all over again. So the key is building a barrier by light coats. Finally it'll work. The day will be over and you can move on. You know, the guys that say, hey, you got to strip it to bare metal or strip it all the way down, so prime the whole thing all over again. I've been there, done that. That takes a lot longer, and you know, maybe on a show car or something like that, you might have to do that because you're trying to get it to look perfect. In your everyday car, you really are going to be just fine by just doing what I'm doing. So anyway, sand it, finish out with 800 to 1,000, wet sand it, light, slow layers of paint. Don't try and cover it at all. Make sure the dots don't really even connect very well, and just spray it on super dry and then let it set between those coats, and let it set and let it set and let it set. Now sometimes, every once in a while, when you get done, you put your clear on and it wrinkles again. So if you're worried about that happening, okay, sometimes that happens. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it just happens, okay? You put your clear on and it wrinkles. What you can do to prevent that from happening is put your first layer of clear on, a little, put it on and put a little bit of accelerator in it and use a fast hardener in it. Put a first layer of clear on, nice and even. Let it dry a little bit more. You're going to get some orange peel for doing this. It's the price you got to pay for being impatient or for using the wrong products or whatever. You put a layer of it on, maybe even get 2 really light layers on. Color sand it all, sand the whole thing down after you're done. Let it dry for overnight or whatever, sand it. And now you've created that barrier, okay? The whole idea is creating a barrier. You created that barrier, sand that down, wet sand it, and then re-clear it. And then it'll be probably, at that point, you're going to be good to go. But it's all about getting a barrier of the new paint over the old that's not wrinkling, so that it starts to dry onto itself. Because what's happening, your first coat was drying and soaking into the undercoat. Your second or third or fourth coat, when you finally get a barrier on there, is drying into the other coats of the same color. So let's say the first coat was white. The first coat I put of this red was drying into the white. The second coat I put on was almost drying all into the red, but not quite. It's still biting, going through the red and into the white a little bit. Third little light dry coats, it's going through the red and into the white. Fourth, fifth little light coats is going through the red and into the white. After a while, it'll just go into the red. The red will go into itself and then it won't wrinkle. So that's what you're trying to do. That's the object of the game. It's fun. Have a good time. I'll talk to you in the next one. Not a good day for you, but it is what it is. Talk to you in the next one.